When Hannah, the designer, and myself started talking about this production and how we were going to present it, one thing which we kept coming back to was, why has Shakespeare got this military background to the play? He set it in a. These are soldiers. He set it in an army, effectively, at war. And it seemed obviously very important, as the more we started talking about it, to honour that and to look behind that and see why it's so important to have this. And I think it's really important that the military background is very present and very clear, because I think it helps to explain really the relationship between Iago and Othello. If you think about what the world is like that Shakespeare's presenting in Venice, well, I think that you can probably find parallels between that world and Great Britain at the turn of the last century. What is the world that Shakespeare is creating? Well, it's a patriarchal world. It's a world where the female voice has to fight, very hard to be heard. It's a world where a father effectively has, almost an ownership over his daughter until such point as the right sort of match is found for her. It's an imperialistic world. It's a world which is on the brink of war or at war. It is a cosmopolitan world. It's a world where people from all over the world may live side by side with indigenous people, although it's also a world which is in which there is a huge amount of prejudice too. Well, I think that's the kind of world he's creating for Venice. I think we can see parallels even to some degree with a more modern world that we live in today. It's extraordinary, but certainly I think there are similarities between this world and one of England 400 years ago, perhaps. Certainly, that we're borrowing references, costume references, and certainly some of the design is inspired by some of the imagery of the First World War. At the same time, we're not dealing with the British Army. We're dealing with the Venetian Army. So obviously, there's we want to honour the story of the play, and not just try and cram a concept around it. But there's certainly going to be visual references in costume and in the general design, which will probably make people think about the First World War and the connotations of it.